friends and vinyl community. It's Brian from Brian's Vinyl Records, and it is Monday, which means it's time for another installment of Vinyl Editions. And, of course, Record Store Day Drop 1 is in the books. We just had it this past Saturday, and I went. So this was the interesting one. First one since the pandemic hit. Of course, we had 2 delays in the original plan. April was supposed to be Record Store Day, then they moved it to June, and then they moved it to 3 different dates. So Drop 1 was this past Saturday. And I knew I was going to go either way, any which way about it. The pandemic is not going to stop me from enjoying the day. Really impressed with the 2 different scenarios that I saw laid out for the 2 local record stores that I usually visit. The first one was Mill City Sound, and they test drove a system where they gave out tickets to people waiting in line with a number on it, and then a certain number of people were allowed at a time to look at the different items. And they did it really well. So they'd call your numbers, you'd go in, you'd have 20 minutes to look through all the bins you can, get whatever you want, and then go pay. Then the next group of 20 individuals, or however many it was, would come in, they'd be called, they'd have their 20 minutes, and so on and so forth. It worked really well for the 99-cent sale, so that was really cool. The other store down in the valley had a different method where they did a virtual line. So they encouraged people not to line up before 7 a.m., but that doesn't ever happen. This is Record Store Day. As much as you'd like people not to line up early in the morning, they're going to do it anyway, and they did. So they went out at 8 o'clock in the morning and went person by person, got their phone number and their name, and entered it into a virtual line. So you got your number, and when your number was called, you got a text. You were able to go up, verify you were who you were, and you were allowed in. And at the there were 2 locations doing it, Golden Valley, which is their main location, and Maple Grove, which is one of their secondary locations, were participating in Record Store Day this year. I went to the Maple Grove site this year. This is the second time now I've gone to the Maple Grove site. It's just a little easier. My brother-in-law lives out towards that way, so we usually go together. They're usually a smaller line there. They don't have as many titles, so it's a risk to go there, and you may not get what you want because they don't have as much as the Golden Valley location does. But like I said, the lines are a little smaller. Golden Valley, I think, had a massive line down the row, and I was there about an hour and a half before they came out, and I was 8th in line. So it's a chance I take on this one just because it's a smaller line for me to get through, and I was lucky last time and got lucky this time as well. We'll get to what I got, but I do want to say I'm wishing very much well wishes to Rob at Mill City Sound. Unfortunately for him, he had come in with a fever on Wednesday before Record Store Day, had a COVID test, and found out his result was positive. They've closed the store now. They will be closed until September 7th to make sure that the store is completely clean, and all the staff are healthy, and they have quarantined them all themselves because of this. And so they missed Record Store Day. They instead, what they did is they put all of their inventory online at 1 o'clock, actually noon on Saturday, so you could buy virtually with the understanding that it wouldn't ship until the 7th of September. I went on and I checked and saw their inventory. Their pages dwindled down super fast. So people went online and they bought their inventory, which is awesome. No one wants to miss Record Store Day, especially as a small independent retailer, because this is where you make a bulk of your yearly income. So happy to see that people were supporting Mill City. Get healthy, Rob. We're rooting for you, and we'll see you after September 7th. So as I said, I went to Maple Grove down in the valley, and they had a great operation. The virtual line worked flawlessly. The staff were friendly. They kept people 6 feet apart so that everyone was safe. Everyone wore masks. It was great. Nothing different from the normal Record Store Day camaraderie. Even though we were spaced 6 feet apart from each other in line, 6 feet's not too hard to have conversations with people still. Conversations were going on, people were happy, people were upbeat, and it looked like everyone was pretty happy with what they got out of it. So I was 8th in line, like I said, and I had 2 items on my want list, and one that I was going to pick up probably anyway. And then this is what I came with. So the first album I got was the Billie Eilish Live at Third Man Records. This is recorded direct to acetate during her performance. So it's, what I like about these, I have the Ashley Monroe Third Man Records album as well. You get everything. You get flaws, everything, conversation in between. It doesn't matter. You get it all on this. So it's kind of cool. It's like you're at the performance there. There's no post-editing, nothing. It goes directly onto the acetate, and then they press the records from it. So this is really cool. It's fun. I really like Billie Eilish's music. I did not like her first full-length album as far as production goes. I thought there was way too much bass in it, and it just makes my speakers really pissed off when I play it. I love the songs, but I can't play that very often because it just isn't good on my speakers. But this is acoustic, her and her brother Phineas performing at Third Man, and it's just really fun. I enjoyed it quite a bit, so happy to have picked this up. Now, for the first one that I was on my record store day want list, I was the first one to get this at the location I was at. This is Black Crowes Lions. Not their best album by any means, but if you want to get all the Black Crowes, you're going to have to get this eventually. And this was only released on vinyl one time before, I believe, and it goes for big money. So happy to have picked up this reissue. It's a really cool album on pink vinyl, so that's really nice. Like I said, not their best output. It's very disjointed as far as sound-wise, but there's some good tunes on here, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. I really enjoy the Black Crowes, so this was a must-have for me. The next one, this is my number one want, and the one I really, really wanted to get, and that is Space Hogs Resident Alien with the hits on In the Meantime on it. I was just hoping. I had talked to the manager before. He said that this would be at the Maple Grove location, but obviously not in large quantities. And as I watched people go through their checkout, go pick up their items, I was happy to see that I was the first one in line at position number 8 to ask for this album, and thankfully I got it. I think they had another 3 or 4 copies at the location, so I should have been able to get it no matter where I was in the line for getting there when I did, but happy to have it. This is a really great album, and this sounds amazing. They did a great job on the pressing, and it's really cool. Comes on this cool little splatter vinyl, so just a great pressing. It is a gatefold press. Just all around great job. Happy to have it. This, from what I hear, this is the album that sold out the quickest and was hardest to find, so I was very lucky to get that. And then while I was there, you have to have your list ready when you get up there. So I just looked through my list and said, well, how about this? Do you have this one here? This is Fight. This is A Small Deadly Space. If you don't know anything about Fight, Fight is the project that Rob Halford put together after leaving Judas Priest in the mid-90s, early 90s. And this is their, I believe, second album of 3, if I'm not mistaken. And they released last Black Friday, they released the first album on vinyl, and now they put out the second album. So happy to have this. I enjoyed the first album, so I'm sure I'm going to enjoy this. Really cool red and black splatter vinyl. Again, a nice gatefold. So yeah, happy to have that in my collection as well. So that's my record store day purchases. I didn't grab a ton. I got the 4 I wanted, and I'm happy with that. So that's that. I also had special ordered this album from down in the valley. So after I got done at Maple Grove, I scooted on over to the Golden Valley location where this was going to be. And since I was just picking up an album, I was able to go in and get it and then come out. I didn't have to wait in the long line that was still sitting there. This is Chet Atkins and Mark Knopfler, Neck and Neck. This is really cool, guys. This came out in, I think, 1993, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, 1990 it looks like. So this came out in 1990. Mark Knopfler, of course, Dire Straits, and Chet Atkins, of course, one of the great country guitar players of all time. If you've ever watched the Ken Burns country music documentary, they talk about him because he got hooked up with I believe the Carter family, and it pissed off the country music world because he was so good at guitar, and he did things that no other country music artist did, and really changed the landscape of country guitar playing. And so they were really threatened by him. And so yeah, so I was super happy to pick this up. This is a music on vinyl pressing. Someone in one of my music groups sent me a link to a song off this album called Poor Boy Blues, and I listened to it and was just floored. I had to get it. It's cool. It's got some, full songs. It's got some instrumentals. It's got just the noodling between these two is amazing. So highly recommended. If you haven't heard this, go check it out on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon, wherever you listen to streaming music. Go check this out. It's super good. Mark Knopfler, Chet Atkins, neck and neck. You won't be disappointed. All right, I also picked up a couple albums. This one I found on clearance at Target yesterday, so I picked this up. This is Lana Del Rey's Born to Die album. Really never listened to Lana Del Rey. Decided to give her a chance, I think a week or so ago. Really listened to this album, really enjoyed it. So when I saw this on clearance at the Target I was at, I decided to go ahead and pick it up. So happy to have found that. And then a brand new album this week, Katy Perry's Smile album. Came out on Friday, so I picked this one up as well. Happy to have this. Really, really cool sounding album. I played this on my system upstairs, which isn't by any means really super audiophile, but man, it just sounded really good up there. So I can't wait to put this on the main stereo and hear how it sounds there. So Katy Perry's Smile, like I said, just released on Friday. And this one is a Target exclusive, which comes on this cool blue vinyl. All right, so there you have it. That is my record store day and new additions for this past week. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, hit that subscribe button below. Love to have you along for the ride. And as always, leave a comment. I love interacting with everyone in the VC. So thank you for watching. I hope everyone got what they wanted for Record Store Day. If you participated, if you didn't, hey, no worries. I understand. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep spinning vinyl, friends.